A dangerous deep freeze is gripping much of the United States. The freezing temperatures made it more difficult for New York City firefighters to battle a 7-alarm fire this morning at a furniture store. Kenneth Craig has more on that from the Bronx.
A bone-chilling freeze has started to turn parts of Niagara Falls to ice. Ice also formed on Lake Superior in Duluth, Minnesota, where the wind chill dipped to 36 degrees below zero. The below normal temperatures are affecting the country coast to coast. In Washington state, an ice storm knocked out power lines. Even the Deep South is in the grips of the bitter cold. In Texarkana, Arkansas, this fountain froze from top to bottom. And in North Carolina, 3 duck hunters had to be rescued after icy water refroze around their boat.
I think onset of hypothermia set in, and so they went ahead and called for emergency crews.
The bitter cold also hindered firefighters here in the Bronx, New York, as they battled a massive fire that started inside a furniture store.
You see the water that'll freeze there on the ground and all around the building.
More than 20 people were hurt. It was a similar scene in Nahant, Massachusetts, where firefighters covered in ice battled a house fire.
The water freezes on our equipment, on our air packs, on our masks.
They rotated shifts, thawing out in a mobile unit to keep warm. The bitter cold is expected to continue for at least several more days.
And Kenneth Craig joins us now from the Bronx outside that 7-alarm fire at a furniture store. What's the scene like now, Kenneth?
Well, Tony, the good news is that this fire is finally out after a very difficult and really unimaginable couple of hours. Take a look live and you can see for yourself it really looks like the Arctic out here. You can see FDNY starting their investigation here to figure out what happened, but you can see all of the ice. This is just a look at what firefighters had to deal with in the early morning hours. It started about 5 o'clock this morning in the furniture store at the bottom of this apartment building, quickly shot up to the top. And imagine this was the 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, people just waking up. It was about 10, 12 degrees out here. Residents being forced onto this fire escape. You might be able to see right over here to the right-hand side, covered with ice. One mother talked about grabbing her babies with just the clothes on her back and having to make her way down this icy fire escape as firefighters were tackling the fire from the outside.
Kenneth,
Last check, about 22 people.
Kenneth, we're looking at pictures. We're looking at pictures of power lines draped with ice. Is that from the firefighters' hoses? I mean, is that the result of the attempt to douse these flames?
Well, that's exactly what it is. They were at this for 5, 6 hours trying to put the flames out here, and it's not just the power lines, but the fire escape. And then if we go down here to the sidewalk here, you can see all of the sidewalks are now covered in ice. They had to bring in sanitation crews throughout the morning and now into the afternoon to try to sand out these sidewalks and these roads, because really everything out here is frozen from firefighters doing their work to put out the flames.
Are there takeaways either for surviving the cold or for preventing the kind of fire you saw there? Are there takeaways for people watching this right now?
Well, authorities are still trying to figure out what happened here, and that's what's happening right now. The investigation is just beginning. Really, in terms of staying safe and staying out of the cold, the real advice is to stay indoors. But unfortunately, the people who live here don't have that luxury anymore. Some 36 people were displaced. The American Red Cross is helping those people find temporary shelter, and crews in the city are now going around, or have been over the last couple of days, canvassing these streets, trying to get homeless people into shelters.
Wow. All right. Kenneth Craig for us in the Bronx. Kenneth, thank you very much.